factors is solely responsible for this? First off, we must talk about the home front. We must talk about the home front. We must talk about parenting. That is very important. Yes, the society, in a way. Yes, we must talk about our institutions as well, our religious institutions. We're talking about our communities, and of course, leadership and governance in this country. We must talk about that. I don't know if this conversation is only narrowed down to Nigeria. I don't know, but I, as a Nigerian who has not really have an experience about other parts of the world, will definitely look at where I reside and what I've experienced. Yes, I think we should kick it off with the society. We should kick it off with society. It looks like the society these days, we and the parents, that in those days, they will put yam outside. They will put their farm produce outside of their houses, and then maybe at a stall, and they will just put the amount that they want to sell it there. There will be nobody supervise. And whoever comes around will not have the temerity, the audacity to steal that thing. What you only have to take, if you need it, is to pick the one you want and drop the amount that have been placed there as the worth of that produce. But who dares? Who will try that today? Even you have your produce secured, people will still break in and come and steal it right under your nose. So let's start with the society. I believe that society these days, part because of the socio-economic factors, and we must talk about this. Yes, a lot of people would want us to sweep this under the carpet and feel that it's all about individuals. But poverty, inequality, and lack of opportunity, all of these things, it looks like it has actually made a lot of people very daring. Very daring, and they just feel that I just have to be famous. I just have to get it. I just have to also measure up with my contemporaries, and so definitely people, including parents, including the other generations that should correct or control their words and children, they will do anything and will appreciate anything that will make them famous, that will bring money. And that is why even when you're talking about cybercrime, you're talking about Yahoo. These days, you see people justifying it with very obnoxious, very unpleasant reasons, arguments, talking about the fact that even the whites, the Westerners, they colonized us, they stole our things, and so it's payback. And it's unfortunate that we even have parents who are supporting their children. They will take them to Abalis, they will take them to prophets and alphas to fortify them, and they will be the one encouraging them. We've heard about association of mothers of Yahoo boys around Nigeria. Who are supporting, who are people don't care if you are making your money legitimately again. I'm sure you're a very big fan of Rufai Oseni. The first time I got attracted to this man was when he spoke about these issues, that if you dare to go out on social media and criticize or talk about or ask questions or query the source of wealth of a young person in Nigeria, or somebody who's spending lavishly, and you're like, how did he make this money? Don't be surprised. Nigerians themselves will come at you vehemently. Yes. They will come at you that, you are being jealous, so it's because you have people who are showcasing, who are showing off on their or online, that as we ask questions, look at the likes of Shopping for God's sake, and others. For very many months, some people who had the moral obligation to do it question it. But what did they get on Facebook? What did they get on social media? People come at them and attack them. That what right do you have? What right do you have? If you had this, won't you be happy? Nobody cares again. And again, when I talk about society again, I think we should also. I don't know. I would not want to just throw jibes at a religious organization. But have you also noticed how they also emphasize materialism? how they also place so much emphasis on the fact that, yes, a pastor missed it. Recently, I saw another pastor who actually came for him, said, you can't trust the words in the mouth of a poor man. On the pulpit. Yes, it may be correct. As much as I feel that I understand the context or the angle it was actually coming from, but there are kind of things that people get to hear, and they feel that whatever it takes to be rich, whatever it takes to be successful, it doesn't have to be legit. It doesn't have to be that narrow line. It doesn't have to be hard work. It doesn't have to be diligence. And that is why you get to hear from younger generation these days saying that school is scam.
So in the end justifies the means.
Exactly, but of course we know that you can never undermine the place of education and the place of knowledge. But for them, as much as they can show off and they can even hire those of us who have spent our time to read and to study and to acquire knowledge and to equip with necessary wisdom, they feel that they are better off. They feel that they are better off. In society, almost not available again. And I will not blame them sometimes, because it's a matter of to making the ends meet. Their children to be trained by the society. So when they're not there, they don't have valuable and robust communication on how their children are developing, how they are forming. They don't even know. Some of them cannot even recognize their children again. They're never there. Even when you put them in school, they don't even check up on them to know what they are actually going through. If they are being influenced by the wrong friends, by the wrong companies, they are not aware. They are not aware. And the parents are already being influenced by bad companies. I'm talking about the children. So the parents are never there. And this is not particular or peculiar to successful parents who have to travel for trips. Even the ones who are struggling are the ones that are most culpable for this particular factor. They are most culpable because of this fact. They just feel that I just have to go and find my way to do. Sometimes they don't even give the children quality education. So these ones at a very young age that have decided to navigate the complexities of life themselves. They decided to, and that is why they say they enter street at a very young age, and they just get engaged in anything that will make them survive. At a very young age, they've entered the streets, and they are finding ways to make ends meet for themselves. So it is what they get from the society, it is what they get from the streets that they imbibe as the way. Look at the way at which the younger generation are taking drugs. Look at the way at which you have questions sometimes when we see some of these videos, these footages on social media. That what did they get? Look at somebody that they had to slap or hit with a very big object for him to come back to life, and you be like, what do they even stand to gain? But somebody must have influenced them. Somebody must have told them, you need this to be bold, or you need this to be smart, you need this to be motivated and be inspired life. So this is causing, there is this gap there, there is this lacuna there, that the role, the built roles that parents are supposed to play it, but they are not playing it. And like I did say, I think it all boils down again to leadership and governance in this country, particularly when I talk about Nigeria.
So
because when you
go on. You can go on.
So because when you ask some of these guys who are involved in these vices, cybercrime for example, and you see their proponents and their supporters, those who don't even have the opportunity to do it, but they celebrate them. They celebrate them because of what? Because they flash their wealth, their lifestyle on social media, and don't support them. They will say, what about those in government? So that is a huge problem for us here in Nigeria, because people can see an average Nigerian who was nothing, who had not really achieved anything, and overnight becomes a representative, becomes an elective officer or an appointee of government, and overnight becomes stupendously rich and wealthy. And you know what Nigerians do with wealth, particularly politicians when they now have power.
Yeah.
Don't you know me? Or if everybody wants to become so that, and not everybody will have opportunity to political power. And so when they use their own route that they understand to achieve it, and you begin to criticize them, you try to make them feel that this is wrong, they quickly point at tell you that what ICPC, for example, and how that country became what they had today. There was a story about a particular out. He knew what the country would do to him. He knew what Liu Kang Yu, the leader, would do to him. He had to take his own life. He had to take his own life. Nigerians today, they still with pride because they know nothing will come out of it. They still with pride. With pride, and they are so, even people even there, and maybe it's because of the poverty again. Their constituents who, because of this issue of entitlement and inequality in the society and poverty, are always looking up to them. We even encourage them to do whatever it takes, to get money because they expect them to come back and share their largesse with them. And this is why these individuals too will always ensure that they have the opportunity they have now to be in power, to steal as much as they can, to embezzle as much as they can. So, there are many multifaceted factors. You talk about young girls going on social media to expose themselves just because of meager gifts. But Sam, again, we're still talking about poverty. We're still talking about poverty because at the end of the day, I have seen some of these videos and I felt very sad. Somebody drew my attention to these videos. I was shocked, and I was like, and I could see that the young lady I saw was more particular about the gifts that she will get. Look at the number of young ladies that are to prostitution today. Look at the number of young ladies, and you will be so surprised on how these individuals show it off on social media. Tell you that, okay?
So we have a multifaceted problem.
Exactly.
It's a lot of issues that have contributed to this. And when you look at these issues once again, you begin to debate, is there even a solution at all in mind? Now, are we so far gone that we can't think about any form of redemption now? Or do you think that there is a process whereby we can change things from this moment?
Sam, I think just like I said, it's multifaceted. We will not blame a particular entity on these factors that have contributed to the decadence in our society, to decadence. But I think if we are intentional, and I must underline that, emphasize that, if we are intentional and conscientious about doing this, yes, like I said, it has to start from all of these angles. First off, the leadership, the government, they must understand, they must recognize that we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder if we continue this way. They must recognize that in a situation whereby majority of the young females are becoming prostitutes and not ready to earn money legally, to work hard, to be diligent. In a situation whereby most of the young guys are either cultists or cyber crimes or Yahoo boys. In a situation whereby some people have decided to just be touts, to just be tools in the hands of politicians, to just be tools, instruments in the hands of politicians to help them to carry out their nefarious activities and other big people. There are people who their job, Sam, I'm sure that they are everywhere, who their job is obtaining people. They don't just, you can't even say this is what they do. You drive, every time you meet them on the road, some of them don't even have jobs. They don't even have what they do. They don't have any address. But what they do is to hail you when you are coming. Hey, Babala, hey. You give them today, then it's a big mistake. The next time you are coming, alaye mi, o ti pẹ́, how far now? That's just what they do from morning to evening. From morning to evening. So if the government can understand, and that is why, particularly, Sam, I'm scared of a protest in this country, because the last one I witnessed in 2012 that President Jonathan increased the price of we removed.
We've had enters after that moment.
And there was this massive protest. There was massive protest across Nigeria. I was in Osun State then. And there was a curfew, and you know what happened? People could not go, people could not buy things. The markets and stores were not open except the ones you can get in your vicinity. Do you know that at that time, those people who had guns, people who had weapons, people who had machetes, had started attacking people. We were protesting. We were protesting against subsidy removal, and some people already began to engage in very unholy and nefarious activities. They were already visiting people's homes because they would say they couldn't go to work, they couldn't make money again. And so that's why I have always been scared of this, that these trolls, these people who always hijack protest and make it turn very bloody, that the government might not be able to control. So like I'm saying, I'm sorry for digressing, the government must be intentional about this. They must be intentional about this. And it has to start with our education. They must look for a way to inculcate ethical education, to promote ethical education in our schools. They must ensure that our schools have provisions for this in our curriculum, and ensure that children from a very young age have this idea about who an Omoluabi is. Have this idea about what integrity is, what dignity is, to have respect in the society. And this must happen first if the government itself will ensure that they have dignity and integrity in what they do, because that is why this is very difficult, because if the followers continue to see that the government have at all levels have failed us and they are selfish and whatever they do is in their own interest, then how are they ever going to take the government serious? How are they ever going to take the government serious? I'm not a big fan of President Donald Trump in the United States, but there are some values that he has never missed words about protecting, about preserving. One of them that has always irritated me is this issue of LGBTQ. I'm happy I'm in Nigeria. Nobody can come at me, and if they come, well, I'm on the right side of the law. I'm on the right side of the law. I have never understood that why people will celebrate that, why someone will describe themselves as an activist of the LGBTQ. Women marrying men, women making love to women, man marrying men, men marrying men. And you know all of this? Transgender. And I'm always happy that every time he comes out, he has never missed words. And he's so emphatic and unequivocal about saying that there are only two genders in the world. Whatever you do, whatever procedures you carry out on yourself will never change you, will never change your DNA from being a man. And of course, discouraging these things, yes, it's a tug of war over there for him. I understand the fact that it's America we're talking about. Yeah. So, but of course, that is a good leadership. That is somebody setting good example.
But does it also disturb you that even though we have a law that bars that in Nigeria, we've had people talk about the presence and existence of these things. In fact, there are those who publicly align with these things, and nobody is doing anything about it.
Sam, that tells us about double standards that we talk about in this country. That tells us about hypocrisy. That tells us about paying lip service to policies and laws of the government. And it's not peculiar to that law alone, sir. We can also relate it with other issues that we've talked about in the course of this conversation. We can also relate it with it. that despite that there are provisions in our laws that they are very clear and unambiguous for everybody to see. But let's see people perpetrating some of these crimes, engaging, and nothing is done. Nothing is done, and I won't say much. I'm not going to mention names, but in fact, we can also trace that to prostitution too. Yeah? We have a law in this country that does not allow that. But who are the people, Sam? I'm asking you. I don't know. You know them. Who are the people that are getting the services of these ladies? Who are the people that are getting the services of? Why would they be serious about ensuring that these laws are adhered to the letter? Why would they ever be serious about that? So if some people in high places are not involved in this nonsense that we're talking about, then of course that explains it. That explains it all. Because you just need to ask questions sometimes. You need to ask questions about this. I was talking to someone who does a broadcaster like myself, and who reviews stories about all of these mysterious things, this and this issue. And this individual confided in me and said, there are so many stories, there are so many issues that he had pursued in the past that people who are involved in it, like, people selling human parts and some other things. Yeah. And by the time you are almost getting to the root of this issue, apprehending those who are doing this, you just realize that something will happen. The case cannot continue again. Why? Because there are some people in high places that are customers of that place, that are clients of these individuals, that they are involved. So I would not want to delve much into that, but also that is why I said until leadership gets it right, and we can also see that they have set good examples in this line, and then maybe we'll start from the schools. Like I said, we start with education, like I said, and then I don't know if we have to go the route of North Korea and some other people to also see how we can censor some things on social media. Because if we go this route again, you see activists and CSOs coming out to say, oh, I just want to stifle the voices of Nigeria. But of course, we know that our government cannot be trusted. There is this huge trust deficit. Their interest first in whatever they do. They never do anything for the interest and the progress of the country. It is always about them.
How about limiting the exposure of young people to social media? Let me say that I think New Zealand recently was considering a bill to ensure that people who are under the age of 16 do not have access to phones, because they feel that exposure to social media would cause anxiety, self-harm, physical stress, and a lot of some of these issues. And so they want to limit the exposure of these kids to social media. Can we do same in Nigeria? Do you think that is perhaps a solution that can be considered to protect and to help instill more discipline in younger people?
I totally agree with you, and I think I will go with New Zealand on this, and this has always been my own position too. Yes, these have been widely debated, but I've said, like, I have a child who's a teenager, and I've said, you are not getting a phone until you're out of secondary school. For me, you're not getting a phone, because even me, as an adult, I have to ensure that I guard my soul jealously, for me not to be corrupted on social media because of what I see on a daily basis. Because you might even be doing your normal surfing and just your casual thing, but what comes at you, what appears every time, is something that you have not asked for. Soft porn everywhere, all sorts of anomalies that but for the fact that, okay, I'm an adult, I know how I can go about these. I'll equip myself with some knowledge, and I can control myself. I can caution myself. Maybe that will help me. But what about someone who is just at their formative stage? Yeah. And they're getting influenced with that. But unfortunately, one of the challenges I have, even with school, I don't know if this will pass or not. The assignment that the schools give the children sometimes, they always need the phone. even have, you don't just like the little ranting on social media these days that wait to, it's my child you are sending assignment to. The assignments you are sending, they are meant for me, not for my child. I said, in those days when we didn't have Google, when we didn't have ChatGPT, when we didn't have phones, we're having assignments and we're running assignments. But majority of the assignments that our children bring home these days, they have to consult the phone. Because even nobody at home knows the answers to all of this. I don't know if this is some kind of laziness on the part of the schools, or I don't know if they just want to ensure that, it's a digital age, so we need to move with the time. So I would definitely align my thoughts and agree with New Zealand if we can have that kind of law being assented to in this country, Nigeria too. But who are the people that we assent to it? Who are the people that will make it work? Like I said, everything in Nigeria is always upside down. Even the laws that are there, we have people who are bigger than the institutions. We have people, and that is why it has been said in Nigeria and many forums that there are two laws in this country. There are two different of laws in this country. One for the ordinary people and the other one for the privileged people. Right. So I think it's a very good one, Sam. It's a very good one, but the practicability of it, the workability, it's what I don't know if we are ready as a country to also ensure that we get right. But like I did say when I started, if I have to come to the home front. If I have to come to the home front, like I did say in the country, if you actually want to recover, the first stage is for you to discover. So, as you and myself and a crop of other people are disturbed and concerned by this trend, by this moral decadence, by this erosion of moral values in society, the majority of people in Nigeria honestly and genuinely also concerned. Because it is one thing for them to just say, you look at you see everything. It is another thing for them to be very concerned and disturbed by this trend that they will accept, as we are discussing now, that we must at all means find a solution. So if they are very concerned about that, then obviously it starts with their own life. Because they must set good examples. And it starts with marriage. I'm not going to blame anybody. I'm not trying to be judgmental here. I don't want to go the Bible way, but you know what the Bible says about if the foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? The kind of people that are becoming parents this day, and they're not even ready for parenting at all. The kind of people that are becoming parents this day. I have a lot of contents I'm working on of a mother twerking in the presence of a toddler, and of course what you expect the toddler to do. What you expect the toddler to do? Twerking in front of camera, maybe on TikTok or Instagram, I wouldn't know. They're doing that in the presence of your child. And your child is looking at you. There are certain things, Sam, you will agree with me, that we never saw our parents do in those days. That we never I'm sorry for saying this. Sometimes it's even difficult to even imagine that your parents were even making love in those days, because of the way they comport themselves around us. Because of the way they behave, it was even difficult for us to imagine that our parents were even meeting in those days. But these days you can even find parents having a conversation, very, very dirty conversation in front of their children, dancing provocatively in front of their children. You see the way some parents even dress. And so we're having parents. They were never prepared. They are not prepared to be parents in the first place. So I don't know if they are even qualified to be referred to as parents, or just mothers and fathers, people who were only channels through which children came to this world. And so that foundation is actually faulty. And for such people, and funny enough, Sam, for such people sometimes, they could actually be wealthy. They might have been Yahoo boys and, done a lot of things. And so what do you even have to tell them? As far as they are concerned, they are better than you. Because they drive in a kind of car that you cannot drive. They live in a kind of place that you don't live with, They are better also as far as they are concerned, because that is how we measure success in our society. It's true materialism. It is true acquisition of wealth. That is how we measure success. Even in our religious places. You have driving one of the best cars. You are contributing very well to God's work. Definitely, you become an elder. You become a deacon. You'll be celebrated. The pastor wants to know you personally. The imam wants to have a relationship with you, and of course, you leverage on that too. And such persons will never be chided and corrected. Nobody's even interested in asking what's even your source of livelihood. What's your source of wealth? So if our people are genuinely and honestly concerned about this, and we agree that if we continue like this without checking this very deadly trend, and then maybe people can begin to get it right. But like I said, if parents ensure that their children are well brought up, maybe we won't have these ill-prepared parents again. People will get married at the right age. They will know that integrity is important. They will definitely get it right in terms of dignity, acquiring education, having something to do for yourself, and know that you must also bring your children up well in the right way. So we have to be conscientious and be deliberate about doing that from the home front. So those parents right now, if they actually set this agenda and pass this down to the next generation, maybe we won't have all of these immature people becoming parents again, because that is a very big problem that we must address.
That's another big issue. Thank you very much, Joshua Adegbite. It's been a pleasure.
I really appreciate it.
For those who want to follow up with the conversation with Joshua Adegbite, he has a couple of series on this. Amidst other things on YouTube at
we're just thank you for this. We're just coming up.
Josh of Sioni. Sioni is spelled CIONEE TV.
Okay, TV.
Josh of Sioni TV. You can definitely also share your content. I'm very sure you would like to put up this episode too there, so that you can make some further contributions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
It's always a pleasure
I sincerely appreciate it, and have a great weekend.
You too.
Right.
Thank you very much, sir. All right, let's open the phone lines now and get your contributions. 0805 588 193. 0805 588 193. That is the number to call this morning. If you want to send a voice note via WhatsApp, you can try 08099 931 931. 08099 931 931. That is the number to send a voice note to. I said your voice note should not exceed 60 seconds. But if you want to call, you can then call 0805 588 193. 0805 588 193. And then also keep the comments coming on Facebook this morning. How do we solve this societal menace? Joshua Adegbite has mentioned a couple of things. He said poverty, the society itself, the problem of absent parents, political figures who are not morally upright. All of these things have a way of impacting on younger people and making them misbehave at certain instances. And so we must find a way to fix that. He also said that unless you parents, parents and potential parents, if you show a similar concern, then maybe we may find a solution. But if you're not as concerned as some of us are, then we would continue to tow this apart. So I want you to come in and share your thoughts. Do you think, what do you think is the problem? How do we fix the problem? I know that this topic is hard hitting because for some of us, you feel that, oh, we are also culprits, of some of these actions, perhaps bad parenting, or let me say absenteeism from parenting, because we need to find a way to survive. We need to find a way to pay their school fees, make sure they get good food and good things to eat, and so it affects us. So is that a problem? If that's the problem, let's talk about it this morning. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sam.
Good morning to you, Damilola.
How are you doing, my brother?
Good morning.
But your guest has said it all. God will bless you, bless your family. In fact, I don't even go inside. In fact, what you brought to do, in fact, I used to ruminate over it. You have gone far. In fact, I cannot even remember where exactly we got it from, but there are many factors your guest is mention of. But the thing is, if I will look at it, let me speak on property and modernity. Property is the grant of all these, in fact, all these ugly behaviors we are saying. Because property is a disease. Look at our homes, our society, look at the realm of governance, everything surrounded with all that reality. When things are going bad, people will go extra miles to survive. And I said that we are trying to be like the white. We are copying the foreign countries. No, if we want to be like those people, do we even have the grant? Do we look at our society? Do we look at our environment? Do we look at what we are having? Everybody, our guys now, they want to be like the other. They want to be like the Beyonce. In fact, putting on a lot of scanty dresses. And the parents are there. The parents today are the ones backing their children up. They're going to go into Yahoo store. People go extra mile to make it do for them. So, and in fact, I read one article. In fact, maybe possibly I bought a copy of it on Facebook. Our parents those days, they didn't go to school. They are not starting, they are not illiterate. They don't go, but they were able to produce many graduates. We are very proud of them today. How come we that we came to be learned, educated, but we're not producing unworthy children? We are producing people that cannot even stand and represent us anywhere. The parents need to wake up. This thing, society are the bad, but parents need, but they have a role to play. How do we contact them? How do we send them? Right from cradle. So that when they grow up, they will be good ambassadors. Parents, we need to do a great job. Let's talk about the government. We are, in fact, whatever it is, we have to survive, but government has a role to play. Parents first. Because these children, they stay with their parents, not government.
Thank you very much, Damilola. According to him, parents first. You must set a standard for those kids before government would also play its part, because parents will take the blame first. If you tell a child that, see, it is wrong for you to steal, I'm very sure that 90% of the time they are not going to steal. Even if they steal, don't pamper them. If you pamper them, then they will feel, oh, we can do it again. Let them face the appropriate punishment, for stealing. Tell them not to do it. Don't spare the rod. And when I mean the rod, I don't mean a rod, come on. I mean, you should be able to find the best way to discipline them so that they don't do it again, so that we won't end up producing politicians who are thieves. Because if your child is going to be the leader of tomorrow, then and you encourage stealing from this moment, then you can bet that we would have a government of thieves. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Uncle Sam. How are you?
Good morning to you, Comrade Yusuf.
It's Comrade Yusuf.
Yes. Good morning, Comrade.
How are you, sir? Your weekend?
Well, it appears to be going well. Thank you very much, sir. Yep.
Well, by the analysis, it's been done well. I don't know to. Our analysis has done well. Now, done justice to the topic, but Uncle Sam, we don't know where Nigerians get it from. When we are young, I can authority born in my village, which is Ede. My popsi is in Lagos. I'm in Ede, feeling the presence of my popsi for that distance. There's no way I wanted to go. I want to derail. The moment that thing comes, the thought comes to my mind. Oh my God, forget it. That thing I will never be a part to. I live in Hostel. I live in a midst of friends that come from Lagos, come from everywhere, those days.
Yeah.
And the way we grew up was like, oh, individual character. But we were never led astray. We don't know where we get it wrong. And when we say it, society, those things, there is society. Those periods, all these things we are talking of now, the only difference there is all these cyber, all these social media of the thing.
Yeah,
that was not there then. But at least, I don't know where to start from, because we say parents, the moment the children are home, they pretend as if nothing is happening. When they are out of your home, what do you know that is happening? You wouldn't know what is like, what was that. So we will say, call on to God to bring sanity back to this country, because we are saying leaders, a politician that was in a certificate scandal, this is happening. So what do you expect now? We are a parent. When my son was entering Unilag, when a parent was soliciting help to pay money for positioning, a parent, so that they will inflate the marks. So where do you not tell me that tomorrow that you saw that children or that you will not say, oh, is bringing something for them, is bringing that will not say anything? No. So I don't know. But we need
I feel your concern and worry. Comrade Yusuf. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. You too. All right, let's listen to this voice note. Don't forget, you can send voice notes via 08299 931 931. Hello, let's listen to this one.
Hello, good morning, Adami Mogo FM. My name is Anaja Ijama. Okay, concerning the topic on radio, moral decadence in the society. For me, I put it to the government. Why am I saying that? There is no individual that is greater than the government. If the government puts a law and says if you commit this crime, you will pay the penalty, every parent, every family will protect their loved ones by making sure they don't commit that crime. But in our society today, we celebrate the thieves, we celebrate the corrupt politician, we celebrate anything corruptible. In fact, it is even the loyal citizens that suffer in Nigeria. So how about that? When people commit crime, they go scot-free. But when you are law-abiding citizen, you suffer for it. So I put it on the government. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you very much. You're putting it on the government. Okay. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you.
My name is Taiwo, and I'm calling from Ikorodu.
All right, Taiwo from Ikorodu. Let's have your thoughts.
Yes, all I have to say is that these teenagers of today, it is mostly peer pressure that is disturbing us. Because I believe that when my friends, they are more rich than me, they are following bodies that didn't cyber crime, and me, I don't have any money to pay or something to owe them to. And I'm their friend. This little they want to return to. And with the state I am, not having money, being poverty or whatever, I also want to join them. I believe this is peer pressure. Because even if the parents probably they teach their child, those that want to become whatever what they become, they will definitely become it. Parents, and most parents will say that their child should become bad. So what I believe is mostly that peer pressure is disturbing us. As I am, peer pressure is disturbing me. But I just have to do the best I could do. I have to do what necessary things I need to do. That's just what I have to say for today. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taiwo. Continue to be the best that you can be. Please don't let peer pressure get to you. By the way, who says that if your peers are doing good things or they are well cultivated, that shouldn't pressure you into doing good things? So I think it falls back to government, parents, the society. You need to find a way. I'm going to share, I think, 2 or 3 instances. I think there was a time when, in fact, I don't even have to share any instance. We all know it clearly. The level of corruption that goes on at the student union government level in higher institutions. Yes, you see presidents, treasurers, executive secretaries, general secretaries of student unions siphon student funds. Yes, they siphon student funds, and some of them get away with it. If that sort of person occupies a bigger office, you already know what they are going to do. You should not debate it. There are people that I know, and I have said I will not vote for you. I have said it to their faces. I said, if you can commit this level of crime at student union level, there is no way that you're going to convince me that you're not going to do worse at that level. So if you have student union leaders who are engaged in massive level of corruption, you have people who are spending $500,000 on airtime, and then you say produce the receipts for this, and they can't produce it, you know that there is a big problem. Or is it the parent that has no job and all they do is they gamble in front of their kids? What do you think their kids are likely going to become? And that's why it falls back again to the parents in most instances. All right, let's keep the calls coming. 0805 588 193. You can also send voice notes via 08099 931 931. Hello, good morning. Good morning.
Hello.
Good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yes, you're live on Adam Moga. What's your name and where are you calling from? All right. 0805 588 193. 0805 588 193. That's the number to call in. But if you want to send a voice note, send it via 08099 931 931. You can also go to Facebook where we're streaming live at Adami Mogo 931 FM to drop a comment for us and get on the conversation. In some few minutes from now, we will be speaking to Madam Faith Mbadi. She is the executive director at the Center for Transparency Advocacy. We'll be talking about women and politics. We'll be talking about Natasha Akpoti Odoa. Yes, we'll be talking about Natasha Akpoti. What does this struggle that Natasha is going through, what does it mean for female politicians in Nigeria? So we'll have that conversation from 9:25 upwards until we end the show this morning. But for those who tuned in a bit late, we've been talking about the level of moral decadence in Nigeria. We're talking about teenagers engaged in cybercrime, teenagers who are now flashing their privates on social media for meager rewards. We're talking about a lot of teenagers who are involved in the use of drugs, substance abuse, and we're looking at what is the reason, what is the root cause of all of this. How can we find a solution to all of this? I've spoken to behavioral expert and communications consultant Joshua Adegbite this morning, and he has mentioned quite a number of factors. He has said poverty is obviously one of the reasons. The society itself is one of the reasons. The absenteeism of parents, the lack of morality by a lot of political figures. And so many other people have shared several contributions. Somebody who sent a voice note, I think it was Amanda, said, see, she's going to blame the government for all of this action because government has not done well in implementing or enforcing certain laws. Look at the one on LGBT. Yeah, you have a law that clearly says that, see, this is not right at all. It is not common to our culture, and so it should not be right. But guess what? People are saying that, oh, well, you're trampling on the fundamental human rights of certain people, and so they're using that as a justification. A lot of things, a lot of back and forth. All right, let's see. Can we take some contributions? Well, we have this one. Tijani Olali Ismail saying the government is totally at fault because they failed to put the right laws on ground which the citizens should abide by. It came to my mind some weeks ago that even one Okada rider wants to make more money than other Okada riders in the sense that there is no orderliness in the way they get their passengers. And Nigeria is in total disorderliness in most public sectors, as the politicians in Nigeria want to be wealthy than each other. Good morning. That's from Tijani Olawale Ismail. 0805-588-193. 0805-588-193. What's happening this morning? Did I touch a nerve? I said we're all in this boat together, so come on. Don't hesitate. Let's find a solution together. Let's find a solution together. That's what matters. And I hope that you're somewhere in your house thinking, reflecting on how you can be a better parent and how you can discipline your children more in a loving manner, yes. But to let them know that certain things are not right. How will your child be flashing their privates for money and you are there? Oh, what effrontery! I mean, these girls even do it in front of their mothers, and you begin to wonder. But the mother is there. You see those who claim that you see those who they say they are twerking in front of their mothers on social media. And I'm not talking about adults. I'm talking about 16, 17-year-olds. If you're an adult and that does not disturb you, then there should be a big question mark on your own morality. Because these are the people who would eventually become leaders of tomorrow. So we must find a solution, a real solution. Okay, let's just complete that piece from beautiful Nubia Mabaonso. Then I will take some further messages, and thereafter we'll switch to the conversation with Faith Nwadishi on Natasha Akpoti Odwa.
Children cry and waste their lives away, my brother. You like to see them die before their time in poverty. Seems you like to see the people cry in frustration and desperation. You like to see them flee and leave the this land so full of promise. You like to see the children. You like to see the children. You like to see the children. You like to see them die, brother. You like to see the children. You like to see the children. Do you like to see the children? You like to see them die. lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ sí ọmọdé ìgbójú sókè wá gba owó tágbà bá ń rojọ́ ọmọdé wọn pa lọ́lọ́lọ́lọ́ ní òó lọ́jọ́ ọjọ́ sí àwọn àgbà ìwùwà ìbàjẹ́ òó tí wọ́n bá ṣèbàjẹ́ a ó ṣìgbà fún wọn ni o ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ a máa sọ jẹ́ a máa bá wọn sọ ẹ máa bá wọn sọ ẹ máa bá wọn sọ ẹ máa bá wọn sọ. ọmọ ṣe wùwà ìkà yìí o ẹ jẹ́ a máa bá wọn sọ o. ọmọ ṣe wùwà ìbàjẹ́ mọ́ o. ọ̀rẹ́ ẹ jẹ́ a máa bá wọn sọ o. ọmọ ṣe wùwà ìkà. Let's go again. ẹ máa bá wọn sọ o.
Seriously, against the evil in this land, against all those greedy people in high places, all these hungry leaders stealing from the poor. We must start to speak out for the poor, for the young people. Speak out for the children. Speak out for the women. See, we must speak out, Speak out in every way we can. Speak out.
Take fashion, put earring for here. Who you think first wear am for nose? Now we begin the fashion. Neck BG for neck. If you say who wear am for waist. Now you think first they do shuku. Because Oyibo they call am bread the corro. Now I think they copy dreadlock. You know love from Dada. Now you think first they paint them face.
Okay, Lagbaja, don't worry, we will come to you, but the music you listened to earlier is that of Beautiful Nubia titled Jama Bawanso, Ma Bawanso. Let us continue to talk about this. We will continue to reflect on this so that we can build a better site. I think I have some more people who have called. Apologies, I couldn't break into the music, but let's listen to this voice note.
Hello, good morning. This is Prophet Irawo from Ikorodu. Good morning to Adanimogo FM. Now, to my own understanding, I would say the government is the one at fault in the first place. Now, why I say so is that seeing all these things, all these crimes that have been committed, what are the steps the government has taken? What are the steps the government has taken so as to stop all this crime? Aside from the parents, aside from the teachers, aside from the environment, what is the government doing? What are the steps the government has taken so as to stop all this crime? Aside from the parents, aside from the teachers, aside from the environment, What is the government doing?
All right, that is the end of that particular message. Okay, well, you can keep orders coming. We're still trying to reach Faith Nwadeshi, Madam Faith Nwadeshi, who is the executive director of the Center for Transparency and Advocacy. But I think we have more people who want to contribute to the earlier topic. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr. Sam.
Okay, good morning. That's coming back.
Yes, I want to make a kind of brief comment. We can blame government, honestly, their own part. But I will still go back to parentalhood. The thing is just that, see, our parents those days, you know that the government was actually okay that time too. But the thing is, they were able to do their best to actually bring us, where. In fact, the way they taught us, the way they taught us, and that is what we are very proud today, and that is who we are today. The thing is this. The parents need to go back to the round table. Let us sit down with them. This is matter of home. This is matter of family. Let's say the reality. In fact, children nowadays, they go to schools to fight the teachers on behalf of their children, giving them more morale to go into all those ugly attitudes. And the thing is just that I know in this Lagos, the people who are backing up, his boy for Yahoo. So the parents have a role to play. Let them actually stand. And our religious leader, they must not mislead us. Understand? If anyone is telling us in the church or in Nigeria, end time has come. End times will not come to Nigeria alone. Let's get it right. This was not for Nigeria. Another moment was for Nigeria. End time will not come here. We are the ones getting things wrong. And that's why things are going wrong. We have to wake up and correct that. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you very much, Damlola. All right, can we manage one more call? As I'm still trying to reach Faith Nwadeshi this morning. I think it's something that has to do with the network, but we'll keep trying. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, Mr.
Yes, good morning to you.
I'm going to call from Ogboi.
The name again?
Erijesu from Ogboi.
Oh, Erijesu, good morning. Let's let's have your contribution this morning. Thank you.
Today's conversation was a very fantastic and wonderful one. But my own opinion is that we can't blame the government. This thing started from the home, and it is the parents that are supposed to adjust and we adjust their movement. For instance, some parents are doing children of maybe let me say 18 to 20. They are not in support, they are not in a position to help themselves because of their situation. So most parents they see their children whenever they are like maybe age of almost 20, they see them as their own income. They see them as income and when it is their duty to be collecting from them. Children that has a good job and has a good thing doing, and you are expecting something from, I'm talking about the female children, and you are expecting something from that child. What do you expect the child to do? What do you expect her to do? She can go anywhere and start doing anything. Especially down the issue of phone or no phone. I saw a woman when I was in the place. The woman gave her son, a son of 10 years, 100 phone, use it. What are they using it for? This civilization we just put ourselves into has really caused a lot of things in our family and the association, the country themselves. So it is the parents that need to adjust themselves. They take better care. I need to know that man say, we should take better care of our children. Our mothers and fathers take care of us. Not because of civilization and turn our children to something else. God help us all.
Amen. Thank you very much, Madam Mary Jesu. Always a pleasure having you join us and share your contributions. 0805 5888 193 0805 5888 193. Don't forget you can also send your voice notes via 0809 931 931 0809 931 931. You can send voice notes via that particular number. All right, Faith Nwadeshi, I'm not sure I can connect with her at this moment. I'm not exactly sure why, but well, I think at this point we may just keep the floor open and continue to pursue this conversation that we are having. Well, let me also say that if you want to talk a bit about Natasha and the entire drama with Natasha, you know what happened. First, they said, Madam, we do not expect you to come around and hold a rally, don't come via road, no convoy, nothing. And she was able to get herself an aircraft and she flew into the ground. Flew into the ground where the event took place, and she had quite a lot to say. That is Natasha Akpoti Odoa. And she went on to say several things. It was indeed an inspiring and stirring speech. And she has had subsequent interviews since then and has continued to say, see, there is a plot to kill her. I don't know where that is coming from, but she's saying that, see, that is on good authority. And she has not just stopped, at that. The Independent National Electoral Commission has now clearly stated that the petition to recall her failed. Yes, you wonder, why did it fail? Well, it failed because the number of verifiable signatures that INEC was able to see did not meet the required number. It fell short of the 50% that was required to get her recalled from the Senate. But there was a report also earlier in the week where a media organization went to Kogi Central to interact with several persons. And in the course of their conversation, a lot of people said, we like Natasha Akpoti. She's our daughter. We really like her. We have no plan to recall her. We don't understand where they got the thought or notion to recall her. In fact, some went as far as saying that, see, we are going to ensure that we re-elect her. I've seen several comments. One said Natasha should be the face of the opposition in Nigeria because the way she's handling all the political jabs left, right, and center, you say it's interesting. Well, the attention has moved away from what she said or her actions on the floor of the Senate to all the other battles that she has to deal with. Well, what do you think about how Natasha is handling all of this? So you can add that to the contributions you intend to make this morning if you're not able to connect with Faith Nwadeshi. All right, 0805 5888 193. 0805 5888 193. You could also try to send me a voice note via 08099 931 931. We have a message from Friday from Marie saying, your guest has said it all. I still believe that our leaders are at fault. How far is our judiciary? Until our judiciary has a rethink and do the right things, and also the parents who are going through a lot because of the situation of the country. Many parents lost their jobs. Even many businesses are closed down, and many businessmen and women are not making sales as much to be able to take care of their families. Even what I used to spend on 4 trucks some years ago is what I used to buy a truck now. For you to know how things have gone. Our government keeps taking 80% of those problems in the country. Okay, that's you mean, I believe you mean that the government is responsible for 80% of the problems in the country. That's from Friday from Amowe. Thank you very much, Friday from Moray. God bless you too. Okay, do we just play some more music? I guess I would let you listen to Lagbaja Dress with Sense then, before we then call it a day. But if you want to, if you have more contributions, you can send them via WhatsApp, via voice notes, 08099 931 931. This is Lagbaja with Dress with Sense.
For here, who you think first where I'm for nose? Now we begin the fashion. Neck BG for neck. If you say who where I'm for waist. Now you think first they do shoe cool. But because of you but they call them bread the corro. Now where you think they copy dreadlock. You don't know now from that now you think first they paint them face. When you broke on they call makeup road. Now when you think they copy tattoo. Now our body marking now. African color face. She not can make a talk I be off. I be red tiki tie and African color set. Go select any I want to so good to so good. I want to know but don't look as so good no say me to me cha cha worship not the living God, but the biggest idol in the whole world. Who do you worship? Search your soul. Worship money. Dollar, dollar, yenny, yenny. Poundy, poundy, euro, euro. Cash. Sefa, sefa, CD, rand, naira. People, the money carry abroad, building foreign economy. While the people suffer in penury. You claim to worship God, you fool nobody but yourself. For the Creator, sister soul. Break it down. Thus saith the Lord, no man can serve two masters. Either he will hate the one and serve the other, or else he will hold to the one and despise the other. Ye cannot serve God and money. Do you worship God or do you worship money? Father saith the Lord, thou shalt have no other God but me. Is money serving you or you serving money? You spending money or money spending you? After your prosperity, do you share plenty? Will you wait until your deathbed to look back and realize, oh, all is vanity? Verily, verily, I swear unto you, they worship not the living God, but the biggest idol in the whole world. Who do you worship? Search your soul. Do you worship money? Dollar, dollar, yenny, yenny. Poundy, poundy, euro, euro. Sefa, CD.
I'm not against money. I like money too. But I think money must not be worshipped. Thank you very much, Lagbaja, Bisade Ologunde, Omo Baba Muko. I really like Lagbaja so much. I think this is perhaps one of the few times I have to admit that sometimes I get angry when I'm searching online. I can't find certain collections of Lagbaja. I want to say, come on, can't you just load everything up? Some really nice songs. I used to have a friend who had like the entire discography. Would buy all the CDs. But that's difficult now. Nobody plays CDs anymore, do we? I see Lagbaja as a musical activist. Oh well. He himself considers himself a child of Abamieda, the late Fela Nikolakpo Kuti. And so he sees music not just as a chance to entertain, but as a chance to preach his sermons, as a chance to protest against injustice, against poor governance, against some of the wrongs in our society. Mamuni, dress with sense, suru lere, even 200 million momu. You can't help but listen to Lagbaja and not feel the message. And so sometimes you don't have to blame me when I play him often and often. Considering that some of these songs are above a decade old, they may not get as much airplay as previously, but we must continue to play them on shows like this. Alright, thanks to everybody who has contributed to the show this morning. Thanks to those who did not call but have taken time to listen and reflect. Please and please, when you have kids, know that these kids have a role to play in our society. These children are not for you. You remember back in the days, communities would contribute to sponsor a particular brilliant child abroad to go and study. And then they expect that when he comes back, he's going to do something for that community. Either you like it or not, your own child could become the president of Nigeria. He can become the vice president, can become the senator. Please help us build a child who is going to legislate well. Give us a child that would not merely be sending prayers to his colleagues, but one who will indeed do what he has been assigned to do, act as check and balance. Give us children, train them in a way in which they would affect or impact the lives of everyone positively. Teach your children to love Nigeria. Teach your children to be bold in the face of troubles. And let us work together to make Nigeria a better place. We owe it to our dear country. If you believe in the Quran, if you believe in the Bible, if you believe even in traditional deities, have you ever wondered what they would ask you in the afterlife? What did you do in making your country a better place? Think about it. Just imagine that you get asked that question. Those in the Bible are familiar with the story of Eli. How Eli's children could not succeed him because he didn't train them well. Let that be a lesson to you. Train your children right, and they would give you peace and bring you joy. Just some few days ago, I saw somebody who was saying he's not going to get to 40 because of the kind of despicable things he has done in search of money. Do you think his parents would be happy? Please and please let us do what we can and support those children in prayers. Support them with prayers. It is important. May God continue to help us all, and may Nigeria become a better place in our own lifetime. Let me say a special happy birthday to the Chief Commander, Pa Ebenezer Obefabi. I like him so much. I listen to his music all the time. Happy birthday in arrears, sir. And let me also extend my condolences to my very good friend, Engineer Enrich Bankole Akomalafe, who buried his mom yesterday in the US. It is well with you, my dear friend. Let us continue to show love. Let us lead with love. Let us lead with light. Let us lead with compassion. And we would have the Nigeria that we'll dream of. My name is Sam Olugbeminiyi. Thank you very much. You can always reach out to me via Facebook at Samuel Olugbeminiyi or on X at Caesarolu, Ceasarolu. And let's continue the conversation on how to make Nigeria a better place. Good morning.
Adami Mogo FM.